Greetings! Greetings, Commanders! And welcome back to the observation deck of Archimedes Station. Today I'm dressed up in my old gear. Got the old Rogers look on because it's a Rogers video, and I've got the bobblehead. Isn't that great? Oh, I love the bobblehead. Okay. Today we're talking about mastering the Peak Contest Part 2, I guess. The thing about the Peak Contest is what we thought it was about slowly is changing. It's only been out for like a week now. And here is the top list of all the players who have made it into the ranking system. Now remember, you have to be in the top 1,000 to get the awesome awards, including, Geist Stone Frags, Vintage Machines, 500 to 1,000. You just get in the top 1,000 and you're going to be getting amazing rewards for this contest. It's awesome if you're in the senior division. But in order to get into the senior division, you have to score 1,900 points in the contest and get into rank tier 10. I am currently ranked tier 6, 1,533 points, and there are 3 days, 11 hours left to get 1,900 points. The only way to do it, so far I can tell, is to use the strength certificates. Now, I do have 40 more strength certificates, so now that I've realized this, I need to make a mad dash to get in the top 1,000 if I want those awards, which I do. Today's video is going to be talking about how to use Rogers because he is a staple in every lineup. Look at this lineup. Every single one in the top 1,000 is using Rogers. And that's because Rogers beats everyone in a fair fight handedly, except for Full Metal, who actually dominates Rogers. And Reinhardt can be a fair match. Usually Reinhardt wins against Rogers. But no one else shakes a finger at Rogers. Now, occasionally Vegas, Gillies, Stellas with penetration gear can sometimes break through Rogers right away because Rogers needs to get that skill triggering going so he becomes immune. But for the most part, Rogers beats everyone, and the only way around him is a Full Metals or Reinhardt. So that means in your lineup, you have to run a Full Metal if you want to compete. Otherwise, you're going to run into Full Metals. You're going to have to run a Rogers and a Full Metal if you want to compete. So I already run a Full Metal, and today's video is about getting Rogers up because my Rogers was only 10,000 leadership, and having one big bad commander at 500,000 leadership is not the way to do it because you can use strength and weakened effect, and everyone's using tier 12, so there's no tier suppression, and you're basically just playing the pop rock paper scissors matchup that this game is originally designed for. So I love the Peak Contest. I think it's great, but we finally got the add leadership event. And I've been thinking about the Rogers build and how to perform best in Peak Contest. So let's talk about Rogers and how to get the most out of him. Well, you've got to have a lot of leadership just to make him viable so he can carry enough troops so that he can survive the first round to go immune. So that's the first thing. So he needs to be a tank build, and you need to have his defensive stance skill, this one, at level 50 or higher. So once you get it to 50, then you can go immune in 4 triggers. Now, of course, going to 60 is great because you just get a little more immunity until your 4th stack triggers and you go over that 100% threshold. But getting to 50 is the most important thing. Then, survivability, as far as survivability is concerned, you need the Fearless Pants. They have straight damage reduction, which scales amazingly well with tier 12. Also has hit points, which is not defense, which means that skills like Breakdown and Gilly's Nonviolent Resistance aren't going to hit as hard. So you want to be focusing on damage reduction and HP gear exclusively. So Gift of the Valkyrie is better than anything else. The Ghost Mask isn't terrible, but the stat is amazing for Gift of Valkyrie. And honestly, losing attack on Rogers isn't a big deal. One of the main things you do have to watch out on Rogers is opponents who are using Virgo or Ares. They will remove all of your attack damage so that you'll still be able to deal damage with Tear Space if you land a hit, but you're going to need a guaranteed hit skill to do that. So a lot of players like to build defense on their Rogers and forget to put Scorpio or Gemini on Rogers. So first things first is you've got to run a guaranteed, first things first, what am I talking about? Let's finish talking about the chess piece, okay? Creator gives you 6 stats per level, 4 defense, 2 HP. The Armor of the Tyrant gives you 8 stats per level on a perfect roll, but it's all defense, which is rendered immune or useless when you run against somebody who's like Gilly or Vega. So a little HP is always best here. I went with the level 30 Creator because I already had one and I wasn't using it, and it was the only gear I had available. I'm using my Shadow on my Full Metal right now, so I had a level 30 Creator. I'm going to use it. Honestly, Tyrant might be better, but because I am so concerned with bigger Vegas and Gillies that would one-shot my Rogers because he's so small, this is a natural choice for me. I don't think any other chess piece is better. Remember, the Void and Invincibles aren't going to work on tier 12 airships, and since you can use tier 12 in Peak Contests, you need to focus on airship-centric items. So the Creator's good, Shadow is probably best, Armor of the Tyrant's okay. All right, as far as pants are concerned, fabrication is okay too, but it doesn't have that damage reduction, which works on tear space, which I think is really important. As far as the helmet's concerned, Gift of the Valkyrie is fine, like I said, but the Wrath of the Stars, what's the airship one, the new airship one? I don't have it. I'm not that rich. But there is an airship one that does HP and penetration, which is a little bit better, but Valkyrie is just fine. Eternal Barrier in the weapon slot is pretty much best in slot, but you do need one attack weapon. Now, I chose Wild Rose. Armor or Titan may have been better because it just adds raw attack and it's harder to debuff all my attack off with just Virgo or Ares. But what I like about Wild Rose is strengthened weakened effect. Now, this strengthened weakened effect has another effect where it makes your opponents less likely to dodge or less likely to land a hit, so it increases your dodge, which is kind of a big deal against Full Metals because Full Metal is going to be relying on Taurus and Leo for his guaranteed hits if I have enough dodge on my airships, and this strength and weaken effect might just be enough to avoid a lot of tear space damage. So I think it's okay. I don't think it's a super long-term build, but I already had a level 21. I don't have an available Titan that's good, so I'm going to go with it for now. As far as gems are concerned, I am going to be using the 5-piece Cepheus to remove, a little bit of defense so my Tyrant can hit harder, and then take away the heal from commanders like Elf, Reinhardt, and that's mostly who you're going to be running up against. So also it has a little bit of crit wither, which means I won't be getting hit as hard, and the overall gem stats are higher than the other normal gems. So I go Scorpio for the guaranteed hit, and I go Cepheus. If I had 3 Geist Stones or 3 Spirit Stones, I would put Gemini in here just for a little more guaranteed hit so I can hit those full metals that are going to be my biggest concern. But as long as I got enough ability to defend and survive, I'm going to be beating everyone else. Full Metal's my main concern. Scorpio solves that issue. Gemini would be a little bit better to have on top of that. So that's the build I'm going for. Now I just need more leadership. Now I was thinking in my head, maybe I should go Rogers Full Metal, like everyone has to, plus a Stella or Gilly. So I'd have like infantry, walker, and airship. But now I'm thinking, the main issue is just doing enough of these and scoring high enough that I get into the top 1,000 before the season ends. Remember, there's 3 days, 11 hours left. I'm thinking maybe I just take my Rogers up as far as I can, maybe like 100,000, 200,000, because this peak contest has great rewards. It's not going anywhere, and a high-level Rogers is great because I already have a huge full metal anyway. So I've got the 2 most important commanders. It is nice to have a big Gilly or Vega to get through a full metal, but my full metal can get through full metal. So for now, I think the best thing to do is take my Rogers and get him as high as I can, without going too far, without going more than, say, 30% of my total leadership. So let's go ahead and see what I have available. I've got an Exorcist. I will take him. Okay, now I still got a Gilly and I still got a Golem here. I refuse to eat Golem because he's a $400, $500 commander. He's super rare. I do have a Medusa that's injured. I need to go ahead and pump her up. I was saving that for the mobilization, so maybe I'll go ahead and do that now. Okay, now my Medusa is ready to be absorbed, and I'm out of magazines. I could, get a few more magazines if I wanted to, but I'm going to save it, and I've got a nice 50,000 leadership there. Let's go ahead and make it an even... Perfect. A 51,000 Rogers is respectable. That should be able to take on 100,000, Stellas, Golems, Vegas, Gillies, as long as they don't trigger too hard on the first round. And then my Strength and Weaken effect should help me survive a little better against my main concern matchup, which is Full Metal. So if I get a little 3 more Geist Stones, I could get another guaranteed hit here, but I don't think I'll do that. I don't think I'll put it on my Rogers. I think the main concern we thought was going to be having 3 good balanced commanders, but as it's turning out, I think the hardest part is just going to be getting into the top 10 in the amount of time they give us, which is really putting a lot of pressure on the strength certificates, and the only way to really get those is to buy them, it looks like, and compete every day in the individual quests. So I guess that's kind of where we go from here. We kind of see what this next season is going to look like. Right now it's 3 days. It looks like Rogers and Full Metal are a must, and it's good to have an offense, 1-slot bus commander, or just general offense commander like Gilly, Vega, and possibly Pictor. Maybe some penetration meta starting to pick up. A lot of the big guys are admitting they're seeing commanders that their opponents have that they're not showing, so they're changing commanders between each fight, so they're not revealing it. But there is new stuff coming. I'm excited to see it. Once I have more information from some of the big players that are leaking it, I'll publish that information. I'll admit that some of this new super high-level strategies that are changing the meta are not something that affects 99% of the players, but we should start to see it roll out in the Galactic Battle. But the peak contest doesn't take into consideration research and Arc Hull. It does affect Awaken. Apparently Awaken is having an effect. But once you get into the researches, airships do become a little more powerful. Overall stats are better. Infantry really relies on their attack, which doesn't scale as well as everything mastery, which is what airships really seem to benefit the most from. But more on that to come. This really just covered what I'm doing with Rogers and how everyone should be having a Rogers and a full metal, and Rogers needs a guaranteed hit, and the kind of tank gear I'm using. So what do you think? What do you think? I think I'm doing it wrong? Am I doing it right? Do you have any critiques? Have you noticed anything that I missed? How are you building your peak contest commander? Of course, you know, a lot of people say, oh, interact in the comments for the YouTube video. No, I'm generally curious. We actually need to know this stuff because the peak contest is new, and we are learning new things. I think this penetration meta is going to start picking up, boys. It's going to start picking up. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you on tomorrow's video. And remember, August is a new Patreon goal. There is a new patron favor. I haven't announced it yet. Maybe I will before the time this video goes live. I don't know. But I do know that once we hit 95 patrons, everyone is getting the Techman Moonstar poster. So if you have not joined Patreon yet and you want to support the channel and today's the day, then head on over to patreon.com, sign up, get your sweet Melt Founders Club mug, and be one of the first 95 to get that limited edition print signed Techman Moonstar poster. Once they're out, guys. Some of the merch I'd like to redo, but that stuff, those are gifts, and I'm just doing a one print run and sending them out. So thanks everyone for joining and keeping this thing going. I really appreciate it. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.